Could it be? The Provari P3 sneak peek. So when I first heard about this Provari P3, the beta, I was like, I want, I need. And then when I finally received this sucker, pulled her out of the package, held her for the first time, I was like, oh, finally, the P3 is in my hand. But then I went to vapor and I was like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the performance from this chip is fantastic, but it only goes up to 20 watts. 20 watts! You can do builds all the way down to 0.7, but again, it only vapes up to 20 watts, so in my opinion, no point in that. Now, I need to spend more time with it. I just pulled it out of the package earlier today, and vaped on her, and she vapes great. With your tanks, she vapes great, your K-Funs, your Nautilus, your Typhoons, single coil RDAs, between 1 and 1.8 ohms. Really, 1.1 and 1.3 ohm, 1.4 ohm is its sweet spot for a 20 watt device. But that's just my opinion. So for those of you guys who do not know, ProVape is the company that manufactures this product. Man, they shell out some unbelievable product. High end. It's expensive, okay, but it's great quality. You know when you get it, when you buy it, you're going to get something of good quality. High standards, baby. They came out with a Provari version 1 about 2.5, 3 years ago, and then they came out with the Provari version 2, which I owned. I own the Provari version 2 Mini. Love that thing. Okay, it went up to 15 watts, and back then, 15 watts with a 3.5 amp limit was huge. I popped my Jennies on there, vape at 1.3 ohms, 15 watts, and got a stellar vape. Shortly after, they came out with the version 2.5, which I believe also vapes up to 15 watts. But here's the thing, that was a while back. I mean, that's almost 2 years ago when they came out with the version 2, maybe a little longer. So when they were talking about coming out with the version 3 and they came out with the beta, I was like, damn, this thing's gonna be like 50 watts, isn't it? 20? I mean, that's why I hung my head. Oh, I was so excited, and it was just a letdown to me, okay? But for some of you guys that prefer to use tanks, okay, you don't vape, or you don't prefer to vape anything over 20 watts, you don't care about all that power, this is a great device so far. Again, I gotta test it. This is only the first day that I pulled it out and actually vaped it. I need about a week, guys. I'll come back and do a full review, but I wanted to go over a few things with you, my thoughts on the quality of the build, etc. Right now, I've got a SOD 5000 RDA on here, and as you guys can see, she's sitting flush. Okay, with the version 2 and the 2.5, it's got a slant. This is flat top cap, baby. It's got an adjustable pin, which I'll show you guys in the full review. She looks beast, man. Same type of firing button as the version 2 and 2.5, which I love. I mean, it's not clicky, but it's super comfortable. Okay, there's your menu screen. You got your voltage reading. You can also set that to wattage. You've got your battery life percentage reading, and you've got your ohms reading. And that's not where the menu screen ends. You got a whole slew, a whole bag of tricks with this menu screen, a whole bunch of different settings, which we'll go over in the full review. So like I said, I've got this SOD 5000 RDA sitting on this P3. Got her vaping at 20 watts. Got a 1 ohm build on here. Performance. And it's a legit 20 watts. With this RDA, it's a tighter draw. I'm getting full on flavor. I mean, it's great. Again, tighter draw, devices with tighter draws, usually single coil devices, tank devices, it's great at 20 watts for me. Now, if you're the type of vapor, 20 watts just doesn't cut it for you, this is not for you. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now. One cool thing I realized about this product is the battery life, okay? It shows a percentage as you guys saw on the menu screen. Now here's the thing, I popped the battery in, and as soon as I did, turned her on, it gave a question mark, and I was like, that's weird. I took a hit, and then it showed me a percentage, and what I realized is it shows you a percentage off of how long you take a hit. Okay, so if you're the type of vapor that likes to take longer hits, it's going to give you a lower battery life reading. If you're the type of vapor you take shorter hits, it's going to give you a longer battery life reading. And I think that's freaking cool because it's gauging the battery. The battery life is gauging off of the vapor, but it's gauging off the battery and the vapor. How you vape, how often you vape. That's freaking cool, man. That's the first for me, first I've seen. The P3 is made of 310 stainless steel, solid. Feels very similar to the Provari version 2 that I own, and I can tell you right now, that Provari version 2, I ran over it with my freaking car, didn't even put a dent in it, and it's still going. Had that thing for like 2 years now, and it's still going strong. That's the quality that you get from ProVape. I mean, to me, it feels very similar to the Provari version 2. Very similar satin finish. It's got like a brushed satin finish, which I like. It's not a fingerprint magnet. I feel like the tubing is a little bit thinner on this P3 than it is on the Provari version 2. You can run this thing in 18350 mode, okay, the smallest mode. You can run it in 18500 or 18490, or you can run it in 18650 mode like I'm running it right now. It is a little longer. I mean, it's a good, I would say a good half inch longer than the Provari version 2. Alright, so here is a quick close-up. As you guys can see, right here in the middle, you've got that P3 logo, okay? Look at these lines. Look at these lines. There's the menu screen up at the top. Again, the P3 logo. You've got lines or cuts all the way through here. Machining, top notch. It says Provari at the top. And then up here it says Made in America. Made in America, baby. So that is the sneak peek of the P3. What do I think so far? I think it's of great quality. Like I said, ProVape's got high standards. But 20 watts, I'm disappointed. Disappointed in that. I feel like they've been working on this P3 for like the last year and a half. If this had come out a year and a half ago, it'd been great. But now, you've got 50 watt devices, you've got 100 watt devices. Again, that's the first look. Be on the lookout for the full review. I'm thinking about within the next week and a half, 2 weeks at the latest. Got to give a shout out to Joe. Joe, if you're watching, thanks, brother. And Ken, if you're watching, thanks, brother. Ken's got a shop down in Hotlanta, baby. Vape Parkway. I'll have their address down in the description where you can check them out. This is Rip Trippers, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now.